Yeah. Okay. So, been up high. It's been quite foggy, and I'm heading down to civilization, so to speak. This is I'm on skis. It's around 10 years since last I've been on skis. Well, except for the past few days. Happy to report, skills don't fade. I was out in the night to watch the stars, of course, the Milky Way. I'm not gonna divulge what I saw yet. Needs to do more observation, but it doesn't seem like what's coming is going to be as harsh as this winter has been. Okay, so big backpack here. Been doing some work, enjoying it. No electricity here. Right now I'm out of supplies, so that's why I'm heading down. I'm gonna be down there a couple of days, and I'll be back, and I look so forward to that. Hopefully then the fog will have lifted, and we can do some stuff, or go out and yeah. We shall see. Yeah. I can actually hear some birds over there. Wildfowlers. So, there, well, I'm just gonna show off my beautiful location here. So, it's more in olden times, not there, but a bit further down, or eastwards, there was people lived up there. This is around, I would say, 800 meters, 850 meters above sea level. So it's not a given that things will grow here. But in old times, it seems. I think actually it's a bit of what farms is to cultivate land. And as the farmers cultivate the land, new industries start to come. It's kind of seeds of farms, or offspring of farms is industry. So they kind of push out farm. Farm needs to go further inland, cultivate new terrain to develop the nation, and in come industry and supplants the farmers again. There's always something in there that we have to find some balance there, I think. As it is, I need to get skiing here, so I cannot talk. So see you more later. I had to take off the jacket. It was getting up that hill. It was humid, damp, foggy. Yo, I think it's like 100% water in the air. So I'm walking in just water vapor. Might so we were talking about topographical maps, mountain maps. So I see all this this valley. I'm following here. It's much longer than I've not seen that before, and actually really long. So that's going to be just a few days up on the mountain, off grid. No internet connection, no telephone. I couldn't even receive radio signals up there. So pretty well sheltered off, put it that way. I saw these things, and I went out in the terrain, and I saw I saw some food for some of my favorite topics of study. Stones broken off from mountains forming ravines, and or just new valley branches all together. You see, even if I don't say it, I like to see these mountains, but I watch them like, how did it look before that came to be, sort of, or what happened the day these things happened, because I don't think it happened over several thousands or millions of years. I think it happened in like an afternoon, or maybe in the morning, but it just in a matter of hours, maybe days. Then the fine adjustment happened, which could take centuries. That would be, I'm in too deep water, and there's another high hill to ascend. So okay, get back. Recording, yeah. Okay, now we have more flats. So look, it's so beautiful. We were talking about the birches up there, and these mountains, when they were formed relatively recent, or you think they're ancient? I mean, one of my in my head working theory, thought experiment, working on capture theory, and comets as can we just call it like a mechanic? I'm a kind of a mechanic, and so I say, this is so much to mechanic. Okay, that sounds like he has made his own field of science, and I think there's so much good stuff in it. And it was something that came to me when I was just, I would have come across mechanic in any case, for sure, whether I lived in Oslo or if I lived here, because I was so into these things. And he was kind of the first person I encountered that kind of just didn't try to paint a pretty picture about our history, and also pointed out a lot of the impossibilities that are, ingrained in what we know as mainstream science, like the aforementioned Big Bang and evolution. There is not evolution in that sense. Species, kinds evolved according to their needs, I think. If you put a polar bear into like the Alaskan forests, likely in not too many generations it would not have a white fur anymore, because it would adapt to its surroundings. We see that in birds also, and in many kinds of, I am sure you can think of something yourself where you see adaptation to new environment. So we adaptation to new environment, by the way. Like in Svalbard, the coal they are taking out there, they find it's just like a tropical forest. So that tropical forest had to adapt to becoming coal as mountain masses and land masses and tsunamis came bearing down as the pole shifted. It was anchored somewhere in around the Great Lakes in the States previously. Maybe just 8,000, 12,000 years out. I think that's a good starting point for me, because that's the time of the when we got the ice ages. And I was talking this with one of my former teachers before I went up here. That in my estimate that I think like 6,000 years ago, this valley here would still be just drenched in ice, for sure. And over the centuries, over the millennia, it's been washed out as our planet, kind of rids itself of the ice age. And we are now further up north there in Norway, and also many other places around the planet. There are inland ice shelf, high altitude ice shelves. Many of these are from leftovers from that time. For instance, and you can ask yourself, well, did people like 12,000 years ago, did they have so many cars that they drove the planet so crazy it turned topsy-turvy? And again, I think you readily hear it's a told story, but this is kind of what is promoted as this is what you are learning in school, for Christ's sake. That's why I have such a very low opinion of school. It's not the teachers' fault that they are just being fed a line from the textbooks, and it's all very organized. I think I've been talking before about Immanuel Velikovsky, as well as reading his books. You should also spend some time reading the story about what happened to him when he released those books. Was no use having a bestseller, 5 months in a row, chart topping the New York Times bestseller lists. It was heresy. Oh man, these histories. I'm all over the map, but at the same time I feel so helpless. I want to take this topic. Well, now I also see some familiar terrain. That's good. I've actually been up here once before. That is also when I was a wee little child. But that was even before the fog story, because I was so small. I think Dad had to pull me in on a sled. So maybe 3 or 4 years old then. Yeah, I told you before, we got busted out. No, you cannot watch the television, get out and do something. And many times that get out and do something wasn't getting out and do something, it was just me locking myself into the room and just starting drawing. Because I've always been doing that, I love that. But the 9, so much that when I was 9, that was the year I kind of firmly, I want to do this art thing. I'm too apart, I gotta make art. That's a simple explanation. Too rare to care. There's of course much more to the story, but as I am all over the map in any case, why not save some nuggets? Oh, look at how foggy it turns. Are those stones or are the trees, tree stubs sticking up out in the fog out there? I think it must be stones. I think so. Then the planet, having formerly been out in, for all we know, a very different universe before it started enveloping itself in a firm orbit around the sun. I'm talking about the eons of ages that went by before that. When did this rock came to be a part of our structure? Was it? I think it's, in many times it can be found in outer space. All these stones, the biggest stones with the most mass have the highest attraction, and in comes smaller stones and accumulate around this bigger stone, you know, making it more massive, and it's shaping it to a ball shape. You see, many of the comets we've seen, visited, and also have photographed nucleus of. Hey, wait. Which way? This one? This one. Go there. From my sheep herding days, I always found it the wisest to take the high road. You want to get up a little bit in case you're finding sheep up there, and also if you're down there and you're hearing sheep up here, oh boy, you have to climb it. So you want to be in range as it starts. I think this, you know, I think it's a good choice. So these stones accumulating around the central stone, central core, whatever it is made of. I mean, there is a lot of stuff I don't know anything about. We have a. Oh, stop it. So, 1.5 hours on the skis here. I think I'm getting somewhere soon here. Some parting words to this. I was just running my mouth. I'm now out on my own, gathering my thoughts. And as you understand, there's quite a lot going on up there. Pretty fun stuff, pretty interesting stuff, not easily bored. But sometimes I can feel I can have some, perhaps a small tinge of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, because I've put myself in situations in my life, and I've been put in situations in my life where I did not want to be, and I think this happens with pretty much everybody. Life on this planet for what it is. You have your interpretation, I have mine. I don't think it's just for fun and games. It's also a very, this planet is a very good place for instruction. I cannot not be with all this granite and birches you can climb around in. Why should you file papers? The paper filing, the paper worship, the bureaucracy, the system, the dehumanizing system, shits them. You see some of these people on television, they're so arrogant, for one thing. take a little closer look. They are just dead in the eyes. These people don't know what life is to begin with. And they are no sense of humor. And no values. We were talking about the monkeys and the dialectic materialism. That is their reality. They cannot imagine a creator. That would be a horror. That they would have to be put to, be held responsible for when they know they are doing something very wrong. Actually, so, and this is also why you see, I think many people in journalists and such. Well, I cannot talk for them because I don't understand, but they are never asking any real questions. So I think that is also this materialism, is that I have to have that paycheck, so I better not have too much values to get in the way for that paycheck, because I don't want to be poor. I don't want to suffer. And all the while you're just strangling your conscience. You're doing way worse with yourself by not dealing with it. I say this because the times I've been shied away from uncomfortable it's been put on me. It's been put on me way worse. Even as I don't like to make a big racket, sometimes I have to. I really have to. And if people want to misunderstand it, that's fine. Just I'm not doing it for kicks. There's some serious reasoning behind a lot of the things I'm doing. Even if I do it with a smile on my face and can make a joke of it, it is quite serious. What we are talking about comets, we were talking about chimpanzees, we were talking about all this big, out of this world. Why would you even care when you got sports on television? That's exactly why. It's sports on television. You should go out and do it. And Norway, for all its faults, it is a great country to spend some time outdoors in. All that oil money has brought us also some benefits in that. Can you imagine, like, if I say I was sledded up here when I was a toddler, there were no snowmobiles there, not belt tracks that could make it. They've even blown up. This wasn't there before. That's something that's come in recent times, and it's for our joy, for our edification. I think I want to get up perhaps in the summer also and explore this road a bit further, because I have heard it goes pretty far in here. So, but we shall see. In any case, I've been all over the map now, and I just wanted to wrap these thoughts up with a bit of reasoning there, and I'm going up again very soon, but well, just something to keep you sated. I hope you're enjoying it, and keep watching. Okay, see you soon.